I don't think it's the case that developers are moving away from the big four banks per se. I think that the big four banks are being more selective on the loans they provide for a range of factors other than pure credit quality. The non-bank lending in Australia is not something new. It's just the next iteration. I think it is a long-term shift this time for non-bank lending in Australia, not just for developers, but more broadly as we go forward. Banks, I think, are being more selective or more conscious of how they allocate their capital. What that has had the result of doing is allowing other forms of capital to come in and provide funding to developers to build good quality product on what we see as good quality metrics. And I think the thing that drives it differently this time to what happened, say, post the GFC is regulation for the banking sector. So regulation in the banking sector through Basel III and Basel IV, higher capital requirements, that is not going away. And I think that capital allocation piece on behalf of the banks is always going to provide opportunities for non-bank lenders. We have our credit processes which we've developed over the last 15 years. We have a bias towards, I think, projects that have more owner-occupiers in there rather than investors, and the quality of the builder is absolutely paramount in that. The last thing we will look at is the financials of the developer and how much equity is in the project, and then our standard ratios of loan to valuation, loan to total development cost, what's the ratio of pre-sales completed before we provide debt funding and the like. So I think non-bank lenders have a role to play to sit alongside banks to fund a whole range of projects, not just residential. In an era of strong population growth, in particular in Melbourne and Sydney, there needs infrastructure to be built, whether that be housing, education, health related and the like.